me. On the court, ball dribbling, cashing checks. College hoops, beats, pump, breaking necks. GunzPicks in the air, we ain't playing nice. Best rolling, paper stacking straight ice. Double units fired, man, winners only. Player props hitting, no rolling lonely. Bankroll swole, just stacking that cheddar. Breaking ankles daily, no one do it better. Let's keep dancing, 10 shots fired. Cashing best clips, reloaded, never tired. Have ourselves a day, straight up ballin'. Every show lit, you know we all in. Hit the hardwood, buzzers buzz, call it lit. Numbers crunch, strategy so legit.
Yes, sir. We are back, baby. We are back in the house. And man, are we having ourselves a beautiful Friday night. But we're here to talk about the Saturday card. Welcome to the Breakin Ankle Show. I'm the host of the most point guard podcast and the self-proclaimed CBB GOAT himself. It is GUNZPICKS. Oh, yes, on a beautiful Friday night. And appreciate everybody that's joining me now or joining me later. Make sure you like and subscribe to the GunzPick channel. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you hit the thumbs up and hit the bell. Hit everything that gets me in the algorithm of all algorithms that YouTube deems fit. Get in the comment section. If you guys are up on a Valentine's Day, listen, I know most of you guys are hanging out with your wives, hanging out with your girlfriends, you're hanging out with your gumas. I don't care who you're hanging out with. You need to get the picks that pay the bills for Saturday because we hit the Brown pick. We cashed that ticket. Very easy on that one. Brown outright. I told you, some teams look ahead and they don't look at the game in front of them. They lose the game outright. And now they have to go play a Yale team, by the way, that played very poorly in their game as well. So Princeton, Yale, very interesting situation for both teams. Nothing I'm going to be interested in on that game. And we have one time. Going to see him tomorrow on Pub Sports. Go check us out there on the show. I think the starting five or the power five. I forget what they call it there, but that's going to be at 11 p.m. East. Love having wine time in the building, talking plays. Going to break down a few here for the people. Got the notifications and the gun is live. Had lobster tail and fillets for dinner. A great night, man. That sounds delicious, man. I hope you had some good ones out there on the West Coast or the best coast. But we're here to talk about the plays for Saturday. And guess what? I got a few of the top 25 plays. I got a little mix of the gun specials, the gun belt for that matter. We'll get into that in a second. But we're 28-15 on the plays on the show here, right here on the GunzPicks channel. So if you like the plays, you like everything, share with your friends, share with your mother, share with your sister, share with your brother, share with everybody, share with your uncle. I know your uncle bets. So get into the plays. All right, let's start with the first play on the board here for Saturday. We're going to go jump into the SEC. Vanderbilt versus Tennessee in Thompson Bowling Arena in Knoxville, Tennessee, 11 p.m. East is the tip-off on that game. And the strength of the Vandy team this season, let's just talk about Vandy here for a second. 35th in offensive efficiency. It's basically their offense. 105th in field goal percentage, 90th in 90th from the free throw line. But they don't allow a lot of turnovers, is what's making their number kind of tick up. They're 21st in allowing turnovers to their opponents. And then Vandy will be going against a Tennessee defense that, quite frankly, is the best defense in the country. Number one in defensive efficiency, number one in opposing field goal percentage, 4th in blocks, 59th in steals. This is a very efficient defense here for the Volunteers. Offensively, top 40 offense there for Tennessee. They're 37th in offensive efficiency, 109th in field goal percentage, and 11th in offensive rebounding. And they're going against a Vandy defense that is 250th in defensive efficiency, 186th in defensive rebounds, 252nd in opposing free throw percentage, and they're 338th in defending the three. So I think from the defensive standpoint, the Commodores are not in a good spot here versus a Tennessee team. And while Vandy is a very good home team to be backing, on the road, it's a very different story. They're 2-4 ATS on the road overall, 0-4 ATS in their last 4 road games, and as a road dog for that matter. So this is a team that has not played on the road well as of late. And they're going against a Tennessee team that is coming off a loss versus Kentucky. So they're going to be hungry in this type of situation going against Vandy. And get this, a revenge spot for the Volunteers because Tennessee lost to Vandy 76-75 in the first matchup. They were 5.5-point road favorites in that situation. Now you're seeing the line tick up to 13.5 as I saw it before the show started. I just don't trust Vandy on the road. Simple as that. They're going against a Tennessee team that is hungry. They have one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the country. And I think their offense is going to be efficient in this game. Coming off a bad loss versus Kentucky, they're going to want to show out here. I got Tennessee at minus 12.5. I'll take it all the way up to 20. I think Tennessee absolutely destroys Vanderbilt in this situation. And I know Vandy has a history versus Tennessee. Doesn't matter in this spot. The line is telling the story here. Give me Tennessee minus 12.5 as my official play for play number one. All right, taking a breath here. Let's go to the next play on the board here, and let's go with a rivalry. And this is the Egg Bowl. Can we call it the Egg Bowl on this one? I'm wearing the hat for a reason. It's because I love Ole Miss in this spot. They're playing at the Pavilion in Oxford, Mississippi, and we're talking about Mississippi State and Ole Miss in this spot. At 6 p.m., I think 6 p.m. is the tip-off on this game, so a little bit later than I usually do with the Breakin' Ankle show. But I wanted to put this play out there because I really like Ole Miss in this spot. Look at the two teams statistically. You have a Mississippi State team that is 23rd in offensive efficiency, 103rd in field goal percentage, 283rd from three-point land, and 309th from the free throw line. Two key points on this one. With covering spreads, you got to make threes and you got to make free throws, and Mississippi State does not. And I'll get to how that works out when I talk about their ATS record in a second. On the defensive side of the ball, they're 16th in defensive efficiency, 77th in opposing field goal percentage, and 25th in creating turnovers. So from a Mississippi standpoint, I think from a defensive perspective, they can match up very well. They're 16th in defensive efficiency for a reason. On the offensive side for Mississippi, they're 26th in offensive efficiency, 121st in field goal percentage. But I think the key factor in this one and is what's making this number as far as their total offensive efficiency tick up is they don't turn over the ball a lot. They're number one in turnover percentage offensively. So I think from a Mississippi standpoint, you have to kind of like be a little bit sloppy with the basketball. Mississippi is not sloppy with the basketball. So I think they're going to be fine in this position. And Mississippi State on the defensive side, they're 49th in defensive efficiency. They're 192nd in defending shots, which is a key one. They're 305th in defending the three, and they're 207th in allowing their opponents to get to the free throw line. So I think there's opportunities there for Ole Miss in this situation. Playing at home, for that matter, they'll take advantage of in this position. These two teams did meet already, so there is a revenge factor here for Ole Miss. They met on January 18th. Mississippi State did win that game 84-81 in overtime for that matter. So it even hurt worse. That wound is still wide open for Ole Miss. Ole Miss was a 6-point road dog in that situation. So they did cover the spread. And now you're seeing the line flip to the other side for Ole Miss. Now Ole Miss is a 4.5, 5-point favorite in this spot. And the reason for that is look at recent history with Mississippi State. Absolutely regressing lately. 1-8 ATS in their last 9 games, 1-3 ATS in their last 4 road games, and this is their 4th game as a dog in 4th game this season that they've been a dog. So in those positions prior, they're only 1-2 ATS in those spots, and the only cover that they had was against Georgia. Now Georgia is kind of middle of the road in my opinion in the SEC, so I think Ole Miss is definitely a step up in class from the Bulldogs. But Mississippi might not be ideal from a covering standpoint, but they have won 4 out of the last 5 games. They're 4-1 ATS when they're favored by 6 points or less. So I think from a numerical standpoint that this spot does work well for Ole Miss. Then you have the revenge factor. Then you have the line swing, a significant line swing for that matter, from game A to game B. And you're just seeing Ole Miss kind of getting like a really favorable line. And I think a lot of people will get baited to the Mississippi State side on the sheer fact that Mississippi State just beat them in overtime 2 weeks ago. Actually, probably about a month ago at this point. But give me Ole Miss minus 4.5 as a second play, baby. taking a breath for you folks, but make sure you like and subscribe to the GunzPicks channel. Make sure you hit the like button on this video. If you like the content that's coming on this channel, you guys have been very good on the likes. We've hit consistently about anywhere between 20 to 25 likes. I want to get up to 30 on this one. I'm going to give you 4 plays on that matter for that. So you need to get on your ass, get off your ass for that matter. Hit that, take your cursor, move it over to the thumbs up, and hit that button. Bam, 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 bam. And then you share that stuff to your friends because I'm giving hot information. I'm 28 and 15 on these plays, baby. I'm over 60%. Tell me a capper that's better than the GUNZ on college basketball. Tell me another one that's better than in college football. Tell me another one that's better than NFL. Nah. It is the GUNZ. That is the one that you need to be following. You need to share that with your friends because I want to build not just a small church. I'm trying to build a chapel. I'm trying to build one of those big Texas. I want gun disciples. You know what I'm saying? I'm a preacher. I want to be like that Olstein or whatever the guy that builds those big Texas chapels. I want the gambling church of the GUNZ. That's what I want. I want that here on the GunzPick channel. All right. I digress. All right. Let's get to the one that we call for this show on the Extra Point Show. Let's call this one the dog of the day. Let's go. All right, dog of the day, and you know I'm going to get in the nitty-gritty, the dirty, the mid-majors. And a lot of people call this the Sun Belt. Some people call it the Fun Belt, but I call it the Gun Belt. Why? Because I own the Sun Belt Conference. That's right. It doesn't have to be just football. I own it in college basketball as well. So let's talk about a game that I like in the Sun Belt here with App State going against Georgia State in GSU Convocation Center. A lot of these gyms really are tongue twisters. Atlanta, Georgia, 2 p.m. East is the tip-off on that game. Statistically, you look at the numbers, App State is a better team numerically. App State is ranked 238th in offensive efficiency, 58th in defensive efficiency, going against a Georgia State team that is 207th in offensive efficiency, but 314th in defensive efficiency. So when you look at those numbers, you got to be saying, oh, App State all day, especially with the short line, right? Let's pump the brakes a little bit and look what Georgia State has done recently because their numbers aren't showing what Georgia State has done productively as of late. Georgia State has won 3 out of the last 4 games with their only straight up loss was again at App State in that span. Then they've covered six straight games. Georgia State's offense has put up 80 points or more in 4 out of the last 5 games. So you have a Georgia State team that is just playing red hot. And if you actually look at their record, they're a roller coaster ride. It's almost like Bitcoin or any other stock. But you're catching the rise here on this Georgia State team. App State has won 5 out of the last 7 games. So, yeah, App State on paper looks very good. However, 2-5 ATS in the last 7 games. These two teams met on February 1st. App State won that game 80-76, non-cover, by the way, because Georgia State was a 11.5-point road dog in that spot. And now you're seeing them here as a 3.5-point dog at home. Big line shift from game A to game B in a short period of time. We're talking 2 weeks here, folks. Less than 2 weeks for that matter. And then I would say this, highly motivational spot here for Georgia State. Why? It's Georgia State's last home game of the year. This early on, it's their last home game of the year. So it's senior night. Highly motivational spot for Georgia State. So I think with App State, they're just walking to a position they don't want to get in right now. There's going to be flowers. There's going to be the parents going onto the court. Georgia State's last home game. I think Georgia State here, there's a reason why that short line is there. Georgia State covered the first spread between these two teams, and they have revenge. Tells you everything you need to know. So give me Georgia State here, plus 3.5 as my third play, baby. All right. You know what I'm going to do. I got one more play for you guys, and we like to call this my best bet. Let's go. Best bet is the best game on the board for Saturday. That's right. That's what I'm playing with. I'm playing probably with the highest volume of tickets that are going to be on Saturday, and it is the Iron Bowl. It's for basketball. It is number 1 versus number 2 at Coleman's Coliseum. Auburn versus Alabama, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, 4 p.m. East is the tip. What an electric game between two electric teams. I can't wait for this one. And it's at 4 o'clock, which is just a weird time for a basketball game. This should be the prime time, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock game, or whatever. I digress. These two teams are the two best offenses in the country. You have Auburn, that's ranked number 1 in offensive efficiency, 19th in field goal percentage, 27th in offensive rebounding, 108th in free throw percentage. Going against a Bama team that is number 2 in offensive efficiency, 13th in field goal percentage, 15th in offensive rebounding, 2nd in two-point percentage, 208th on the free throw line, which is remarkable with these two offenses. Not great free throw shooting teams, but everything else on the offense, they can put up points. Now, Auburn on the defensive side, I got to admit, they do have an edge. They're 17th in defensive efficiency versus a 40th in defensive efficiency Bama team. Both of these teams are ranked in the top 20s in opposing field goal percentage, so they can guard the ball very well, which is kind of a big shift from last year with Bama because Bama's defense was terrible. But Auburn is one of the significant points on this one. I think their weak spot for Auburn. Auburn allows their opponents to the free throw line more. They are ranked 269th in the country in opposing free throw attempts per game. So I think if you're going down the stretch and this game is close, Bama does have an advantage knowing that Auburn does give up fouls. And with Alabama, as bad as a free throw shooting team, more attempts means still more points for them. This is the first time Auburn has been a dog versus a conference opponent this year. They've only been a dog 3 times. That was against Houston. That was against Duke. And Duke, last time they played on the road, they played against Duke. And guess what happened? Duke beat them by 6 points. They were 3.5-point road dogs in that spot. Then you got to look at Auburn coming into this game. Look situationally from their schedule. This is their 5th game in 2 weeks. They're going against a Bama team that's playing their 4th game in 2 weeks. So they got a game up on Bama going into the spot, and they have to go on the road for that matter because Bama is 26-3 in their last 2 seasons at home, and they're on an 8-game winning streak going into this game. So I'm playing the red hot team here, and there's a reason why Bama is the favorite here. I'm seeing -2s hit the board. I got them early, like 2 days early. I took them at on the money line, -102, I think I found on FanDuel when it came out. I don't think that exists right now. So I'm going to tell you to take the spread because I think it's up to -2, -2.5 on some books. If you can find a good number that's under -130 on the money line, that's perfect. You want to pick a winner in this spot if you can. I'm not telling you to take a -150 on Bama. I'm telling you that Bama is going to win this game outright. They're going to win. I'm not saying by 10. Could be a short margin there. I think it's going to be a very close game. It's going to be a very exciting game. But I'm going to take a Bama team that just plays exceptionally well at home. 26-3 in their last 29 at home. You're going to be taking the home team. Maybe a revenge spot later on. I think they play the last game of the year. So there's a reason why the number 2 team is favored over the number 1 team. And I think Auburn is due for a loss. By God, it's going to be against Bama. So give me Bama money line as my best bet for Saturday. All right, to recap for you all. Actually, before I recap for you all, if you haven't done it already, hit the thumbs up on this video. If you like the content coming on this channel, you love the sharp information on this channel, you better. And if you want to check my record, go ahead. 28-15 on the free show plays right here on the GunzPicks channel. I do it daily. So give me a little bit of support. Give me a little bit of effort. A little something for the effort. As I say, shout out Caddyshack. But let's talk about the recap here. Tennessee -12.5. Give me Mississippi -4.5. Bama money line as my best bet. My dog of the day, Georgia State +3.5. Those are my 4 plays that will pay the bills. Let's go 4-0 on Saturday and dominate. We're already 1-0 today on Friday. We got San Jose State going on right now. Look good at halftime. We'll see how the rest of the game goes. But that's going to do it here for the Extra Point Show. And if you want to get a late night bangers edition of the GunzPicks show, which I call late night bangers, to break down every late night game from 8 o'clock to midnight, if there's midnight games, You need to get to 30 likes on this video. That's it. 30 likes will get you a late night bangers edition of on the GunzPicks channel. That's it. Just do it up and get to it. I'll do write-ups. I'll give you 3 to 4 plays. That's how you do it here on Saturday. But that's going to do it here for the Extra Point Show for Saturday plays. Let's cash some tickets and let's dominate the board. And as always, let's keep dancing.
Daily, no one do it better. Let's keep dancing. Cannon shots fired. Cashing best clips reloaded, never tired. Have ourselves a day, straight up ballin'. Every show lit. You know we all in. Hit the hardwood, buzzers buzz, call it lit. Numbers crunch, strategy so legit. Breaking down plays, knowledge deep.